Hello, everyone, and welcome to MadReaction Ep.6. It's been a while. We've dusted the cobwebs off, and we're ready to get rolling again. And as always, Ralph is here with me. How are you doing, Ralph?
I'm very good. I apologize for the. I've been practicing ethnic distancing, so practice ethnic distancing is the new clarion call. But I'm back, so I'm flying blind. To be fair, Matt Rice, I have no idea what I'm in for, but let's have a look and let's
Yeah,
tear.
I purposely kept Ralph out of this one because if you guess the name of the show title, you'll maybe understand where we're going with this. So yes, we're gonna get into this. He knows nothing about it, and I'll just say that it's mother.
I can't wait. I have, my voice is now recovering, so I'm ready to rip into this. So I hope this is an inclusive show, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. I want every single point analyzed from you, Ralph. Every single point, right?
Let's do
Literally, I
it.
need every detail of this. Okay.
I'll spare nothing. I will not spare the child or the rod.
Okay. Right. So we're gonna hide that. Right. Are we? Can we?
I do like this chap. I haven't seen the ID before. I like your ID problematic, Bob.
Yes. Oh, Bob's a great guy. Yeah.
Actually, he is. Hello, problematic Bob. Nice ID, man.
Yeah, we've got sound. We've got sound. Right. Okay. Right. I won't be able to interact with the chat on this one because
Oh
it's
God,
downloaded.
that image just ruined my sex life for 12 years. Let's go.
All right then. Let the education begin.
Counties. That was my entire life. Moving up here, I have to say, is one of the most enlightening, eye-opening things I've ever done. I've absolutely loved since I moved up here. And I've gotten to know Hartlepool really, really well. And Hartlepool is a
Hang on,
town.
has she moved? She moved to Hartlepool.
Yes.
Okay, bloody hell. All right, that's good. Okay.
In the realm of 60 to 70,000 people. One MP and what I can tell, a useless MP. Nobody knows quite who he is. He's Labour, of course, but he's only just Labour. They are scraping by. And the reason they're scraping by is
He's only
because
just Labour? Does that mean he has a slim majority? I mean, what does that even
Yeah.
mean? Okay, so he's only just Labour. Okay, why did she move to
Go.
Hartlepool? Because it's a poor part of the country, and she can't afford a house in the south. What's happening here? I thought she had lots of money from the donators. No,
I guess the donation money's drying up,
yeah,
huh?
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess this is why she's had to, go on a paid service that is Wake Up UK. They're a community that you do behind a paywall, basically. So I don't know if there's some deal there,
I
maybe
know. I
potentially,
signed
but
up. I signed up to them a year or two ago. I think they keep taking
yeah.
five bob out of my account or something. I forgot about that. It keeps showing up, and I'm like, "What's this?" And I keep going, "Right, that's them." I forgot about that. Oh yeah, they're them. Okay, but why is she not doing it on the For Britain platform? Why is she on
Exposure, maybe. I mean,
exposure?
we've no
I hope she does not
maybe.
expose herself on this particular segment. So let's
Oh,
hope she
mate.
doesn't.
Oh.
I'm just guessing here. Let's go.
and the Tories are not a challenge to Labour. Anyone who is a Labour voter and wants to.
So they've got a slim majority, right?
Yeah.
But the Tories aren't a threat to Labour.
What does that even mean? Of course, it would be a threat if it's a swing state, right? I mean, I let's listen. I'm so I don't want to be rude here at all, but I mean, I would hate to come across as not being chivalrous, but like every time you freeze frame her, it reminds me why photogenic opportunities aren't for all, right? And almost every freeze frame doesn't quite work out, does it? I mean, she's But
I
anyways,
can
I'm
play
going
it
to
in
try to.
slow motion for you if you like,
Oh,
Ralph.
good! Please don't. Please don't.
It's not. So we need to present a new politics, a new.
Oh yeah.
enthusiasm, a new belief, a new,
So
belief. I think is the strongest word.
is it? Well, hang on, but you're just a fucking Sivnat. You're no different from the liberals or the conservatives. What is new about your policy other than you hate Muslims? I mean, other than that, what is it? Is there something new here? I want to hear the new stuff. Come on, Anna Marie.
That's what we need. We need belief. We need to believe that we can beat these people, and we absolutely can. So, what have I been doing today? Today, I've been out and about in Hartlepool with with Graham Craddy, who I will introduce you to in just a moment. And Graham is like me. He comes from a left-wing background, or what would today be called a left-wing background. He was a Labour voter on that side, thought that anyone who thought that UAF were actually against fascism, thought that Hope Not Hate were actually against hate. In other words, got sucked into the lies, and I'm one of them. I also got sucked into the lies. But now I realize what I did wrong. Graham realizes what he did wrong. And actually, when you look at what
I mean, okay, Graham. Who the fuck is Graham?
Okay, Graham.
Okay, Graham.
The
Okay,
meme
Graham.
lives. Okay, Graham.
The meme actually has a person behind him. Okay, Graham. Like, I mean, who is Graham? Is that the dog? Who is? I'm trying to catch up, mate. My brain is slow. I'm firing at -30 IQ point. Who is Graham? What have they found out about Unite Against Fascism? And why are you uniting against fascism? What's wrong with you? I mean, come on. I'm intrigued.
All right.
Lives Matter are inflicting upon us, it seems that a lot of celebrities also realize what they did wrong. They did wrong in putting their weight behind an organization they had no knowledge of. Black Lives Matter is not about Black lives. And all these celebrities are starting to realize that and saying, well, we don't endorse the communist part or the anti-Israel part or the get rid of the police.
Whoa, she had to slip that. Look at that. Oi, oive. Did you just, oive, did you just slide in for your paymasters, Miss Waters? Did you just slide in there? Hey, of course we're not anti-Israel, right? Hey, oive, hey. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. She's very loyal. She's very, very loyal to the Israelis.
She knows where the which side
Yeah.
the bread is buttered, huh? Yeah.
It's shackled on, right? She's very, very pro-Israeli. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay.
But we do acknowledge that Black Lives Matter. So basically, they're on the same side as us. We acknowledge that. I acknowledge that Black Lives Matter.
Then why the fuck are you calling yourself a conservative? Why the fuck are you? I'm sorry. Last time I checked, except for the one sole exception of this guy in the Cheddar Gorge, England is not a black nation. So, except for this one chap in the Cheddar Gorge, I'm not sure why you need to acknowledge Black Lives Matter. I mean, does she acknowledge White Lives Matter? Will Anne-Marie Waters come out?
Oh, no.
Will she come out and say White Lives Matter? Will she? Come on. Yeah, I mean, Israeli lives matter. That goes without saying, right? Of course, we all agree that Israeli lives matter, but white lives matter now. But she's going for the black vote. What is she doing? Sorry, mate. I'm just catching up. My computer stuff.
And the establishment in our part of the world doesn't seem to realize this. So we've got to help them realize this. And we are helping them realize this, as far as I'm concerned, because today we've got celebrities backpedaling like crazy to distance themselves from Black Lives Matter. And that's a very good thing. But what they need to do is distance themselves generally from that way of thinking. What do they think that Black Lives Matter is unique in this regard? It's not. It's Antifa, resisting hate, one of the groups here in England. Resisting hate, unite against fascism, hope not hate. What else is there? A crew. There's a crew of them.
the Israeli
And you
Defense
know,
Force. I mean, the IDF. I mean,
Jewish
I mean,
Defense League.
the Jewish Defense League. The I mean, what other organizations? The Board of Deputies of Sub-Deputies, Congress of Jewish Interests. Who? I mean, at any point, have you ever noticed she never speaks about the 4 words she will not use? Is English, Scottish, Irish, or Welsh? She'll talk about black people,
uh,
Jewish people, lesbians, gay.
yeah.
She'll never mention just 4 words: English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, right? This is the thing that just blows your brain. She's for Britain, but not the actual 4 tribes of Britain. She's from everyone else, right? That's it, but not the 4 tribes. I've never heard her mention the English, Scottish, Irish, or Welsh. Not even once. Have you? And she never speaks about the 4 tribes. She doesn't.
Well, she has. I think she has, but
Oh, she
it's
has.
very
Okay.
sparingly. It's not her main focus, is it? I mean, with a
No,
party
no.
called For Britain, you'd think that'd be the main focus, right? Actually, British people.
Oh,
But
inshallah. Yeah, but no.
know that if you so much as step out of line remotely, and when I say step out of line, I mean not praise mass immigration, not praise multiculturalism. That's stepping out of line, and they will come in and they will ruin your life. And we've seen that again and again and again. People saying something at work that results in the loss of their job, and they're not told about this beforehand. We have had no message from the government. We've had no hand-me-down note from Boris Johnson saying this is what you're allowed to say and this is what you're not allowed to say. And that would be terrifying enough. But we're not even told. We don't even know. We can say this. Can we say this? Are we allowed to say this? This is life in Great Britain now. Are we allowed to say this? Are we allowed to say that? This is who we are. This is who we are. This used to be the leading country in civilized society. We were
I
a
find
country.
that offensive. I'm sorry, man, but I find that. What do you mean? This used to be the leading. This always has been and always will be the leading country. Fucking anything you want to put it on. And what is she on about? Sometimes I think she belittles Britain. Do you know what I mean? It's very funny. I always get the subtext that says it's quite defeatist about her, right? She's like, "Oh, it should be like this, and it should be like that. We're not like this. We're not like that." Yeah. But what are you doing about it, AMW? You're doing nothing. You're just protecting your sexuality, protecting your shekels, and you just want to spot her power. And let's be crystal clear, she only garnished 200 votes in Lewisham, right? I mean, I could get
yeah.
200 guys to vote for someone if you just gave them a tenner each, yeah? But, I mean, so, but carry on, let's listen to this. I'm intrigued.
Parliamentary democracy to the world. We brought enormous. I mean, the rule of law, you name it, trial by jury, you name it. This country was instrumental in shaping the democratic identity of democratic countries. But we are still now in 2020, we find ourselves in a place where communists, fascists, anarchists are on our streets, and we're not able to oppose them lest we be labeled racists, fascists by the national press. That's where we are. And I keep sort of stopping to admit where we are. We are absolutely, we're living in a fantasy world.
Is that indigestion of flatulence? What's with the pausing?
Have
What
you
is
not
it?
realised yet? Have you not realised yet? Right.
No, is she? I mean, I'm not. I'm catching up here, mate. Literally, I've been out.
She's rather inebriated.
Oh my God, she's had a little, hasn't she? I dare you. I'm looking at it going, something's not quite right.
All right.
Oh, me lovely should be down the pub. Yeah, the pints are cheaper and Hartley Pool laugh. I get it. She is a alleged leader of an alleged movement, is decided to show up on a live stream pissed. Nice optics, sweetheart. Love the optics, yeah. She's not gonna shoot up on the stream or anything, right? I just want to be careful. I don't want to be associated with any shooting up on a live stream or something like that. Not again.
Yes, and I think the title was what was the title of the thing? Yes, winning home.
You cut out there, mate.
And will come out of it. And that's what I need most people listening to this to understand, is that it is dark. Blimey, it is dark. But from this darkness,
Oh my God, are you fucking for real? Did she just come on pissed on a live stream going, "Oh, you know what? It's a bit dark. It's a bit dark in there. It's a bit dark." Oh, yeah, I've got a joke for you, Anne-Marie Waters. Yeah, close your eyes. Go on, close your eyes, love. Dark, isn't it? Oh my God.
She's become a pastor all of a sudden.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, she's had a drink, hasn't she? She's looking well merry. Look at that. Oh my God. Hey, God bless the Irish people, divisions aside, God bless the Irish people as part of the greater union and stuff. But, God bless the Irish people. We do love a little drink once in a while. But tip, and I don't mean tipsy, here's a tip, love. Don't come onto a live stream drunk. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Do not come on pissed. Don't do it.
101 optics. Don't.
That optics. Oh my God.
And because Black Lives Matter have made it so obvious that they are a hard left, Marxist, anarchist group, which has no.
No, really. Tell us more, Anne-Marie. Tell us something we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I actually kind of think drunk Anne-Marie is a bit more base than
I think she might even come out and, God forbid, say something that might be honest, right? She might come out and not, I've never seen her I've seen her have a drink, but I've never seen her. My good Lord, to come on a live stream, this is fascinating. Come on. Does she do anything? Does she do a little jig or anything? No.
No, I have actually watched it all myself. I've watched bits.
Democracy, no time for fairness or justice. When that makes itself known, well, then the people of Europe will make themselves known, I hope. But in the meantime, we are struggling. We really, really are struggling.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was incredible. So was that it?
No, there's an hour of it.
Oh fucking hell. I think she's literally she's clobbered, isn't she? She looks she's well lubricated. Right? Fuck.
Oh, well and truly.
Well
Oh,
and
man.
Bloody hell. Come on.
But here we go, right? Here comes the White Knight to save her, right? This is the best bit.
Okay, okay, Graham. Wake Up UK, the free speech community. I'll test your free speech for you. Wake Up
Hello?
UK.
Hello. Yeah.
What happened? You was mid-flow and it seems to go quiet.
Oh, I don't know.
Did something happen?
I don't know what happened. Where am I? What's going on? Why are you talking to me?
I've always loved you. I've always loved you. My God,
What is going on?
She's hammered, isn't she? Look at that. She's had a couple of drinks. Oh, bless. Come on then. Who's Graham, by the way?
Well, I just stopped talking. I suspect someone was talking to me.
Oh my God, this is priceless.
Mic got out or something. Sorry.
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm not finished. I thought we were going to have. You see, I've got this wrong, I think.
New territory, isn't it? New territory. You have been joined by somebody in this chat room, but called Alan Merritt. But I asked him just to sit back until you was ready to bring him into the conversation. I don't know whether this is the right time to bring him in.
No, please do. Please do.
Alan didn't hear this.
Oh my God. The smile. Jesus Christ. So she basically went on, had a drink. She started having a natter. No one else was ready for the conversation. Then it went quiet. And then they're like, we've not started yet. She's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. It gets better.
And you may have people the link below the chat room and join you, but I don't know whether you wanted to continue or whether you was ready for
In all honesty, you're Jason as well? You're still Jason.
I'm still Jason.
Well, what did he say his name was before? This is priceless. What did he? What I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I feel like I don't have a post-Saharan IQ here. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like a fucking shambles, doesn't it? It's like, I mean, who's the other guy? Who's Graham? Who's the other one? Why is she drunk by herself speaking, and why is Wake Up UK streaming it? This is. I'm not going to cancel my subscription. That's for sure. I'm like, I want more.
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's not what you're doing. Well, we know that, and that's when you're not drunk. You know.
We told you not to run away from the pub and go back to the studio. We told you to stay in the pub. Last thing we saw, you fought with the bartender and you ran down the road. Right, next thing you know, you're on Wake Up UK. Okay, let's do.
You're doing a good job, Anne-Marie. You're doing brilliant.
This is all new territory.
I'm just coming in to give you a little bit to talk.
Well, the thing is, I have to think about what to say. I get really...
Oh my God! And this, look at the seductive.
What do I say? What do I say to Lviv?
The shoulders rolling forward. It's like, hello, this is Anne-Marie to JQ. This is Anne-Marie to IDFHQ. Anne-Marie to IDFHQ. What am I meant to say, Charlo?
Yeah, and I think it's my job to come up with what to say, so other people should come up with.
Yeah. Oh my God! Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my God!
Other people's job to come up with to say.
And did you see the seductive? Like, she put her hand around the chain and went like a little schoolgirly and stuff. Yeah. You know, remind me to give you charge of the Royal Navy. Yeah, allow me. Remember, just note yourself. Let me put you in charge of the Royal Air Force one day. Yeah. Okay. Right. Sure.
Yeah. I don't think she likes semen.
Oh. Ouch.
Okay.
I struggle sometimes.
White Knight, here we come.
Met Alan before. You're familiar with each other?
Is that Alan Cecil?
Alan Merritt from the Beach Home Survivors.
I don't know. Have we met Alan?
No. I do a show on a Monday.
Okay.
So
do you want to tell?
It's great, isn't it?
This is unbelievable. She must want to delete this. She must be. How can you become?
Oh, it was deleted. It will be. But yeah, it's getting better now, right? It's going to come to.
I love it already. Right? In my mind, I've got like, okay, strong female leadership. One on the left-hand side, we have this. On the other hand, we might have to say Laura Towler. I can't imagine Laura getting smashed and then staggering onto the live stream going, oi, you love. Oi, geez, a kiss. Not happening. I hear Laura. Right.
Darren could introduce himself and tell you about what he does on Facebook and why he does what he does.
Oh yeah, please, yeah.
You get a bit of background just to Alan.
Are we going to go on? Are we going to go back live?
We are live.
We're live now.
We're live the whole time.
Yes. At this moment, she knew.
Hang on,
she fucked up.
I've just hit print screen because that's the moment, priceless. The moment you realize you're already live. You can see it going back. I'm not sure if that's an exasperated retreat or she's just passing out. Is she passing out? She's like, hey, or is she kind of like going, what the fuck did I just do? Right? Oh, common sense politics for the forgotten majority. I could have a twist in that, please. Yeah. Oh my God! Oh, give me control of the Navy. Yeah, right. Oh, Anne-Marie slaughtered. Very funny. It's a good comment.
No, that's okay.
It's okay. It's
quite daunting, Anne-Marie, because when I first went on my show and started off.
You can come to the rescue. I think they realised that.
Hang on, is this Graham? Because at this point they're like going, okay, this is not going very well.
This is Alan. This is Alan.
This is Alan, because obviously half the Tommy Talk did that movie.
Not Alan Cecil, right? It's Alan Merritt.
It's Alan Merritt. Oh, but I like the fact that half the Sidney Tommy Talk movement going, well, I don't know what's wrong. She's pissed. That sounds like us. it's 10 in the morning and I'm on my 17th vodka. Yeah, it's like, oh, love it.
It's very, very difficult because being a victim of child abuse, and that's what my fight is all about.
Oh my
trying
gosh.
to get justice for all the wrongs that were done to us as children. And I formed, along with some others, a group called Beacham Survivors. For those that are still alive today,
this will go on for about, I don't know, a while.
With the children home, wasn't it?
I would just say there's quite a sobering moment from that to suddenly this guy said I was abused as a child. I'm like, fucking hell, all right.
I was in 5 children's homes before my 6th birthday.
Oh, wow.
They called it respite care in my day. So you was with your parents one moment, taken away by supervision orders, sent back home, put in children's homes, and you didn't know where you were coming or going. So my father was an abuser. Used to beat me with a leather belt at the age of 4. And when I was 6, I went before a juvenile court, and the judge said to me, "Would you like to go to the seaside?" I'd never been to the seaside, so of course, what's a little kid of 6 years of age going to say? And then I was taken to Beacham, and I was there for 11 years. And I was in 3 very abusive cottages out of 4. And it was quite daunting, and it was quite horrific, and it was sexually, physically, mentally, and psychologically damaging. And I kind of like, even to this day, at 65 years of age, I kind of suffer that psychological torment now with it, even to this day. Anybody says it goes away, it doesn't.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I got my own show on a Monday, and I bring guests on. I've had a few people that I work with. I go out and do a protest most months outside Parliament, the first Wednesday normally of the month. Yeah. We go to Parliament and do a little bit of a demonstration. And I work with a guy called John Wedger. And he does a lot for... I'm
sorry, I'm not meant to laugh doing this, but her face is something else, mate.
He's an ex-detective himself, so he has an ongoing battle, I believe, with the Met Police in itself, with his own case. Being a detective, they didn't like the fact that he was a whistleblower, and told him to shut up or lose everything that he stood for, and his home, his family, and everything. So, and he wasn't prepared to do that. He weren't going to shut up, and he's had ongoing threats for many, many years, because he was in. I think he was in the abuse squad where they were kind of like, well, he dealt with all sorts of sex crimes and investigations and so on and so forth. And he didn't like what he was seeing, how they treat victims and how victims were basically brushed aside. And his governors had told him, his governors actually turned around and told him to shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. And he's gone on from that after being threatened numerous times and threatened with everything he had, and I think it caused a few problems for John. But he's gone on to give, I mean, he done a video a couple of days ago, and it was just a quick brew with a view type of thing on top of some flats he was overlooking London. And he had 4,000 views, and within, I think, 20 minutes he had, within 3 minutes he had 200 viewers.
That's not bad, is it?
No, he has phenomenal figures.
What? She's actually, this guy's breaking my heart, man. I mean, this guy's been through this. That's horrid. But like, why is she worried about the fucking view count? Like, what's wrong with her? This guy sounds like I feel for him, man. He's obviously a survivor, right? Yeah, I mean, like
child abuse, yeah. Like,
yeah, and she's like, 200 viewers? Where can I get me 200 viewers? Huh?
The average is on an average. Well, he's YouTube account. He's got something like 500,000 followers.
Blimey.
So he does try to get story out, and he's gone into this SRA a little bit, because we're saying that could have been linked to satanic ritual abuse with the burning down of the church, because there was a lot of abuse in Beecham, and stories came out that people used to see lights in the church or candles burning in the church late at night. So rather than turn the lights on, they used to put the candles on so the light was slightly dimmed. But I don't know. I don't really know too much about it, so I can't really say too much about it. But all I can say is it was a very abusive children's home, and there was a paedophile link to it, because I reported the abuse that I was getting to Banstead Police Station, which was just outside the children's home, and they took me back in a Black Maria, where I was brought before the superintendent of the children's home, bounced off his knee in a perverse way, in a manner. And little boys like you get a cane pointing to a cane in the corner of his office, and being threatened. And one girl that is also a campaigner with myself, she was 14, and she saw one of the staff abusing children in the dormitory, and she reported it, and they sectioned her and put her in the mental institution at 14 years of age. Not only was that probably illegal to do, later on, the guy that actually abused the children there, she ended up being put in a mental institution and stayed there for 3 years. Was found guilty of crime.
Sorry to interrupt, Mad, but this just does my head in. I mean, I unapologetically call for the absolute death penalty for any of these people. I mean, I would institute the death penalty at the drop of a hat for anyone who's done anything to this man. Any of this, right? This is just absurd. Because there was a whole pedo rings, weren't there? All the way. We don't know how deep it goes into Parliament, right? But we know. I mean, Rose mentioned Leon Britton, but there's a lot of names being mentioned. And I know someone in real life who's also been subject to massive gagging orders from the police and the Met Police and from politicians. And her brother was killed because he was going to whistleblow. So he was killed in custody. And they've offered her money not to pursue the cases, offered her money to stop it. She's had the whole pressure of the state. So we know that these wrong ones have gone all the way out. We see from the Epstein, obviously, in the big picture. And we know in here that just like the girls who were groomed, they were ordinary young boys in their 60s, men who are now in their 60s and 50s, that generation, who have been subject to horrible things. But you have this complicity of silence. I mean, this man should not be wasting his time with Anne-Marie Waters, right? He deserves a independent audience for this, right? We need if we ever got a nationalist government, I think we would find the true cover up, right? Because this is just horrible, right? Or in the 60s, he's a little lad. I mean, it's just vile. I mean, death penalty, mate. I don't know what the nationalist position is. Mine is an absolute death penalty for anyone that touches a child, right? Just end of story, right? Yeah.
She never ever got a pardon, an excuse, a sorry, or anything for what they did to her. And this is just part of the story. There's so much to it. I mean, Surrey Police have reopened the investigation, or did reopen the investigation, to what happened in the abuse in the 60s and 70s, but it goes back to the 50s. And mine was horrendous.
Do you want to tell us about yours, or would you?
Sorry? Jason?
Tell us about yours?
Can I just come in here? I was going to ask Anne-Marie a question. If you don't mind me asking you a question, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, of course.
With your position, do you have people contact you regularly asking you to help publicise and put pressure on people that can make changes? Do you have people coming to you from these different groups, from abusive homes?
I get people write to me who think I have power that I don't have.
No, it's a really heavy topic to get into.
Yeah, it is.
It's so important.
I get people write to me who have been gang raped year on year on year, who are looking for justice. They have gone to the police, nothing's happened. It's heavy stuff. It's very heavy stuff. And to pretend I am fully equipped to deal with all of it would be untrue. I'm not. I'm a politician. I'm not a rape counsellor or anything of the kind. But all I can do, I can give my best to those who write to me, and I try to. But also to make clear that they've got to get help. I'm not help. They've got to get help. But what I see my role as, and I think our party's role is to provide a political something for people who have, for us, you know what I mean?
What is she talking? Yeah, but she's waffling. Yeah, what is she talking about? I mean, she's completely waffling. What do you mean provider? Why don't you take a stand? Why don't you say you will fight for the man? Why don't you say you demand the death penalty? Why don't you say you'd lead a campaign in Parliament? Why don't you say something if you claim to be a leader? That's just horrible. I'd rather listen to the man than this clown, right? I mean, that's a horrible. I don't know this. Alan, was it? I mean, my heart goes out to him, mate. Yeah, poor chap. So.
You know,
the thing is, Anne-Marie,
we can be the kids, we can be the Rotherham girls. I tell you, if I'm a working class white girl, if I had been born in Rotherham, there's a good chance I would have been one of those girls. This is the point. You know, what I'm trying to do is provide a political voice for the people who have nowhere else to go.
See, this is the thing, Anne-Marie,
and I can't do anything else. But people write to me all the time and tell me how they've been treated, just like you have now. And genuinely, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know how I can take the pain away. I can't. But all I can do is try to change the political landscape and try to make it less likely that kids are going to be raped in the future.
See, the thing is, Anne-Marie, in order to fix a problem, you need to understand the problem. And this is one thing I noticed with you, that you do listen to people. You listen, and you may not have the answers. As you say, you're a politician. You haven't got the answers. But if you understand what the problem is, you can then become the bridge between the people with the problem and the people that can help you to resolve. If you can't begin to resolve abuse, but help people to find the answers and help they need.
Just got that back from my MP.
Go between. There's Victoria Atkins.
Yeah. Do you see that, Henry?
Is she still the health minister?
She's safeguarding minister at the Home Office.
Your MP, Victoria? Who's that you're saying?
Victoria Atkins.
She was the health minister, wasn't she?
Yeah, our father was a politician as well.
And who's she the MP for? What area?
Louth and Horncastle in Lincolnshire.
Okay. And
she's also in the Home Office as safeguarding minister.
Right, and she's useless, presumably.
I spoke to her at a constituency office.
Right.
Went to see her, wrote to her. The tissues came out. We all had a cry, and even Rachel Stoner, a PA, a personal assistant, who's been brilliant with me. She invited me to the Home Office. I went down with some survivors to the Home Office in London. Had a chat with her where she probably should try and help us in some sort of way or another. Nigel Huddiston's another MP of Worcester. I don't know if you know Nigel.
Do you know, the name rings a bell.
Nigel Huddiston, and Lucy's his PA. And she's quite well known. Lucy's a good girl. Excuse me. And he's been on board from day one. And he brought up in the select committee about Beecham. And the select, I think it was about 27 minutes into a 30-minute meeting, as they normally do, to the last minute before they said something about child abuse. And I said, we can't say anything because it's a live, ongoing investigation by Surrey Police. Now, when I was a child, they didn't do anything. You were seen and not heard. If you said anything, you got even more beatings. You weren't allowed to say anything. I had treatment of carbolic soap forced in my mouth, in my eyes. I was touched and bathed with it. I was hit. It was a industrial floor soap for cleaning floors. They were using that on children. And the ironic part of this story is I told this story, and I thought people won't believe me when I say that carers, so-called guardians of these children.
Jesus Christ.
With the duty of care, right? And this is what I've been saying from day one. I was in harm's way when I was in Beecham, right? Because of the damage they'd done. They used to call men staff.
But to interrupt, Mad, but at a deeper political point, you have two different problems here, right? You have the root cause of all the grooming problems was the fear of being called racist. And that dealt with all the English girls that were raped and everything else. And on this end, you've got another problem that says it is the liberals that have granted power to this authoritarian parliament that is unaccountable. If MPs and have the power, if Tory Atkins has a second command and control of the Home Office, she can do things like effectively use the state to shut up what is an ordinary Englishman having gone through a life's worth of ordeal. No nationalist government, no nation state would ever allow its people to be treated this way. No nationalist government would allow that, right? It would put its people first, its people before power, right? And this is what's failing them. And this clown, Anne-Marie Waters, is not a nationalist. So this poor man, Alan, I mean, God bless his soul, he needs someone who cares about that issue above all other issues, right? Who's willing to take that fight, even if it means burning down fucking parliament, right? If that's where the perpetrators are, that's where you go after, right? And these people don't understand proper right-wing principles. They're not conservative people. Anne-Marie Waters is not conservative, right? In the slightest way. She's not even right-wing, right? And this man needs justice more than anything before he passes away. You'd hope that his life's ordeal results in some form of justice. It's not like anyone says those perpetrators need to be publicly executed, in my view. I would bring back public legal hanging, right? I would say if you did anything like touch a child, there's no recourse for you. Right. And if you do that to enough people, and it's as old as time itself, the other people will have some thoughts. It doesn't take too many executions of child molesters before the other child molesters think twice, right? And that's the only thing. There's no other, for me, there's no other justice for a child molester. There's nothing but execution.
You could say that's why it was away with, right? You know, if
yeah, that's how you dealt with it. And if you look at non-liberal societies, if you go to the rest of the world, you look at non-liberal, non-Western societies, they execute child molesters, right? They just kill them, right? They just go like, right, that's where you keep that under check, right? I really feel for this chap. So, like, and it's a shame that such a sober, kind of somber moment, but this guy's met with the drunken Irish woman, right? Just kind of like fucking. Anyway, mate, sorry about that. Just that's my head.
Where the staff. Audrey Wilson, one of the members of staff, came into my dormitory one night and touched me under the blankets and was touching me and feeling me in the bed. And I'd never wet the bed before, but I was so petrified, I curled into a little ball and I wet the bed. I stayed there till morning light. But the worst part about it, because Beach Home was lined by beech trees, and the avenues had beech trees, and the street lights used to make a dancing pattern through the light, through the leaves, and they used to dance on the dormitory ceilings. And if you were looking up at the ceiling, you could see these dancing leaves within the breeze and the light coming from the street lamps through the canopy. And this was broken by her big statue or shadow over my bed. So I knew it was broken. This dancing pattern had been broken. And when you're a little boy and an adult comes over you, there is a big difference, believe me. And I remember, she wasn't the first time she touched me up, because she'd done it in the bathroom as well. And in the morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was so petrified. I stayed there till morning light and curled into a little ball, and I just didn't move. And they came at 7 o'clock in the morning, dragged me out of bed and called me dirty little boy and slapped me round the head and literally kicked me down the stairs, took me into the bathroom and made me strip naked and wash all my bath sheets, and made me carry them down to the bathroom downstairs and washed them in a bath, and then made me get into the cold water afterwards and didn't pull the plug out. It's hard to try and explain and to put into people's head how cruel it was, you know, how abusive it was. And the slaps, if you didn't eat your food, it was given to you the next day until you ate it. They used to make you stand and face the wallpaper, this horrid wallpaper, for hours and hours on end. You know, you could almost draw that wallpaper by the time you stood there, the memory that you had of it. And it was quite daunting. Really, really horrible. And they used to send male staff in to give you a good hiding as well, because
this is so sad. It's not excessive. It's a heartbreaking listening to this. This is by any other definition, this is child torture. These are sadistic, abusive child torturers. You don't do that to a little child at all. people who do that are taking out sadistic sexual pleasures of torture on children. I can't believe this man has got the courage to tell his story this way. It's a solid chap. So God bless him, man. Fuck.
Yeah, it's just. What's Anne-Marie gonna do about it, though? Is she gonna take anything from this? Is she
She's
just
just
gonna?
No, of course not.
Well, not in the state. I mean, I don't know exactly where it's stopped. I think it's.
But I had loads of abuses in Beach Home. I had a teacher in the primary school, Mr. Margates. He used to slap me round the head, call me a retard, and hit me with a ruler, a wooden ruler. There was a guy called Mr. Whiteman that went on to abusing Shirley Oaks, which is another children's home which was very bad for abuse. I think there were 60 paedophiles found at Shirley Oaks, and some of them came from Beach Home to work. So it was horrific. And they got a readdress scheme, which was a Labour initiative, and to shut them up and basically say,
I'm sorry to stick my head in, but like if you were a politician like Anne-Marie Waters, I would immediately off the top of my head be saying, I will add to my manifesto a public inquiry into every single one of these homes with no homes unturned. I'll have every witness drawn up. I would be asking for accountability. That's what you'd be doing as a politician, right? I mean, you'd be proposing policies that are directly taking the abuse survivor stories, taking the young boys and girls who have been through this in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and having no stone unturned, public inquiry led, so you find every single perpetrator with no statute of limitations on their charge, right? I mean, that's what you would do as a fucking politician, right? That's what any conservative person would do. Be like, well, let's find the abusers. Let's find them. Let's leave no stone unturned. It doesn't matter if it happened in the 60s or 70s. This man, this brave man, can still remember the trauma of the names of the people. Right? I mean, why wouldn't Anne-Marie Waters just step up and say, right, okay, let's have the names of these people. Let's name and shame them. Let's find them. Let's hunt them down. I mean, nothing, right? She's just silent. She's probably just recovering from the drink. Mental, mate.
Yeah, I want to hear what she's actually got to say to that. I've skipped it a little bit, but yeah, let's hear what she's got to say.
Can I make a point on that? Actually, it's because I come. It's the same. It's very similar background to mine. We grew up Catholic in Dublin in the 1970s, 1980s.
Yeah.
And the Catholic Church was obviously dominated Irish life in that era, and it dominated Irish life well before that. But in the 70s and 80s, 90s, the Irish people began to become aware of the abuse.
No, I've been there.
Clergy
I went there in that type of period of time.
Yeah, and my own brother, and I don't know if he's watching, and he will, if he is, he supports me 100%. Politically, he's utterly on my side. But he told me this several years ago, and I don't think he will mind me saying this. But my brother was one of the people who went in as part of a huge number of people brought together from the early 70s, kids who were altar boys who had been abused by Catholic priests were brought together to testify against them in the 90s, when Ireland just completely transformed, and you found hundreds of priests and nuns arrested in public, arrested in front of the whole country. My brother was one of the people who
was that the HIA inquiry?
What's that?
Was that the HIA inquiry in Northern?
I don't know if it was called that. I haven't lived in Ireland for years.
That was Europe's largest.
I do know my brother was a testimony.
I think Kencor was part of that.
Because HIA inquiry was Europe's largest inquiry into abuse, and the Blair brothers, Joseph and Bobby
that's
Blair,
Kencor.
spoken about that, and that was in Ireland, and that was going back to the 1920s. That was historic.
Ireland has a lot of problems, and they're coming to the fore.
Yeah.
And it's interesting actually to see how the Irish people have reacted to something that was centuries old.
Yeah.
And was suddenly put up in front of their faces, and they were asked, "How do you feel about this?" After all these centuries, we're putting this in front of your face and asking the Irish people, "What do you think?" And the Irish people said, "Screw you." Basically, they really did. And they started arresting priests and nuns by the thousand. An incredible transformation for Ireland. As someone who grew up there, I can tell you it's an incredible transformation. But there are people, lots of young people, including my own brother, who who were a part of the fight back, and it was all done in the courts. It was all done legitimately. But yeah, I don't have the experience my brother has, but I get it. I get it, and I get the transformation of Irish society. Because when you tell a country, if it's a small country, it's 4.5 million people, but when you tell 4.5 million people that they have misbehaved, my mother will tell you about the days that they used to come around to the door and knock looking for money. The church would come looking for money, and I remember that too. When they would come, they would put an envelope through the door and come back a week later looking for money. People had nothing.
Yeah.
And then, so there was already anger at the church in those days when they would come around looking for money from people who had sod all. And then when it broke, that these kids, not only have they been taking your money all these years, they've also been raping your kids. The whole country changed beyond recognition. And as Irish myself, and I can, it's staggering how Ireland changed. And in many ways, not for the better, because of course we know now that half of Africa is allowed to live in Ireland. And it seems to me that Ireland is making up for its apparently flawed past by allowing half of Africa to live there. That's not the way to make up for it. It's not. The Irish are now being beaten up on the streets of Dublin.
Wow.
Yes and no, I'm sorry. I'm going to interject this here because as a Christian, there's a bit of a myth over here, and this is nonsense. Less than 0.08% of all priests, of Catholic priests in the world, have ever been even accused, let alone charged or something. So this is nonsense. Yes, the Catholic priests who were pedophiles or pedophilia should be caught and hanged, right? But to pretend this is an issue of the whole Catholic Church is just anti-Christian dribble. I'm sorry, I'm not going to accept that, right? The majority of acts performed by the church are good acts. The bad priest should be caught, hanged, and executed. But to pretend that every Irish priest running around was a pedophile is just absurd. It's just, and the numbers don't hang up. There's 500,000 Catholic priests in the world. I think less than 1,000 in total have even been accused of anything. So that's just like bollocks on that bit. And this African thing, that's got nothing to do with Catholicism. The Africans coming to Ireland are just coming there because they're fucking Africans, and you've got a liberal foreigner running Ireland. That's the problem, right? You've got a non-Irishman as PM, and he's letting in third world migrants. It's got nothing to do with the church issue. But the child abuse, but she doesn't seem to come up with any policies. She has nothing to say about it. She doesn't seem to show any real empathy. For her, it's just about she can't. It's just something she. Yeah, exactly. As Nordic says, mate. Yeah, she kind of smokes.
Then she'd be accused of being authoritarian, and she's a liberal, right? She can't.
Of course, she's a liberal. Yeah, she won't actually come out, and because remember, her liberal values come first, right? It's freedom, autonomy, it's liberal. There's no conservative in the true meaning of the word to protect the children first and to punish the wrongdoers.
Is she a liberal that tolerates these pedophiles? Is that what?
Well, but all I know is she's offering no solution. And I feel it's a really awkward thing to watch because on one hand, you have the sheer gravitas of the weight of this man's evidence, which is really heartbreaking and compelling. And then you have this half-drawn clown who's got nothing to offer, right? Which is really just, I mean, it's a wasted conversation. He should be speaking to real people. He shouldn't be speaking to her. We should be looking at, how can we support her? As Rose was saying in the chat, how do you get the people to hide behind the OSA, behind the Official Secrets Act, all the people, all the state apparatus that prevents, for example, penetration into the deep state, penetration into state organizations. Those are the problems conservatives need to tear down. If you're accused of child abuse and molestation, the onus and proof should be on you to prove your innocence, not the other way around. Forget this liberal prove innocent until not guilty. If a child is giving testimony, I put the child's testimony as first and foremost above the needs. If the child was proven wrong later, we can deal with the child as being an errant child. But until that, the view of the child should be sacred, right? And protecting children should be essential. This is horrid to watch. She's just useless, right? I feel for the child.
Someone was asking how you feel about us bringing in 3 million from China.
Yeah.
Is this something I've missed in the press that you may know about?
I mean, but there's Boris Johnson has. It's difficult to put accurate statements on.
Accurate
what? What? I mean, I'm sorry, but by most performances, this is her worst performance I have ever seen. This is just terrible.
Oh,
She's just useless here, mate. They should pull the plug on this if they had any sense, right? If someone was around her mind, they should pull the plug on this. She's looking,
it's but no, this goes on.
But he's certainly been floating statements around that in the battle between Hong Kong and China, that we should take Hong Kong's side. Now that's fine by me, but what I don't agree to.
I mean, I was asked, what the fuck are you on about? I was asked this question. I went onto one of the plantation streams yesterday. I was asked a question by some other guys, like, "Do you think the 3 million Chinese Hong Kong people should come here?" I was like, "Fuck no, they're Chinese. Why the fuck should we, any English nationalist or British nationalist, take any side of China versus Hong Kong? How about the side of the British that says, you guys sort out your problems in fucking Hong Kong, right? And why the hell should we do anything, right? Anything to do with Hong Kong and China? Their only policy is no people coming in here. How about that? That sounds like a policy to me. Yeah. But she pulled the, she of course, I forgot she hates China, doesn't she? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Between the rock and the hard place. Oh, well, if I hate China, but there's all these mass migration of 3 million people. Oh no, what do I do? Oh no, it's like
it's what Boris Johnson said to do, which is effectively give. We're talking about 3 million people. Effectively give 3 million people visas to come and live in the UK. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can't.
Boris Johnson made, and Marie, sorry, but Boris Johnson made a statement. I think he done an LBC radio interview, and he said on there an LBC radio interview, £6 million spat up the wall on child abuse. Now, I did a big demonstration at Rampton Mental Institution for Melanie Shaw. And the guys asked me, because it was the first time I spoke in public. So I spoke at there, and after I spoke, I had tears, and there was grown men, crying their eyes out at my story of what I was telling my story about. I only touched on it with you. There was a lot more. And there was grown men and women that were in tears. And I was overwhelmed by the people at, the Melanie Shaw group and the people they came up to me, a total stranger, and they put their arms around me, consoled me, and showed so much warmth. It's hard to actually translate that kind of into words, the feeling of them people on that particular time. And I've done quite a few things with them since, and I've gone on to do a few speeches with them, and I've come on to now Wake Up UK, where I've got my own show on a Monday night at 6 o'clock. But I've worked with Angie and Tinky quite a few years. On the 16th of May, believe it or not, we was going to have the biggest demonstration that's going to probably hit London for a long time, because not only did the Beach Home survivors going to get together, you had the Sikh Alliance Society, you had the veterans, you had the bikers, you had the Melanie Shaw group, the Carol Woods group, you had some of Tommy Robinson's people that were going to come on side with us, and we did everything above board. We went through and tried to do the London Authority. We tried to book Parliament Square Green, but it's not part of Westminster. You have to go through the London Authority for Parliament Square Green. And in the end, they was talking about £600 insurance and Christ knows what, risk assessments and every single thing that was possible. And in the end, I had a word with a third party and through Tommy Robinson. They phoned up the police and said, well, we're going to do a demonstration from Trafalgar Square down to Downing Street, where we're going to have all the abuse victims that are going to be talking. And next thing, the police turned around and said, we're going to close half of Whitehall down for you. And I thought, and it's strange where you try and do things above board and you try and do things. And then when they asked us to cancel it because of the COVID on the 16th of May, we again done everything that was asked of us. Now, you remember, we're victims in the respect that we want our voices heard for what happened to us. But we still, even though this country, so our own country was cruel to us, right, in our upbringing, we still adhere to the rule of law and to order, and we can still say please and thank you, believe it or not. And at the end of that, you know, we adhere to everything that's in them, and they said, "Well, can you cancel it?"
But you know, the man raises a point, and this is the this is the intellectual foundational problem with liberalism, with liberalism and civic nationalism, in that the state is no longer part of the nation. The nation is really the people; it's the blood and soil, and the blood and soil is betrayed by the liberal civic structures of state. And this man, despite having been through this ordeal, still feels a loyalty to his nation, though his state has betrayed him. The state has completely betrayed him, right? So when you see that, when you don't have a nationalistic or even further right kind of government that puts blood and soil and people before state, you get this problem, don't you? The state are a detached kind of structure, an organism that is not rooted in the blood and soil. This man's blood and soil as an Englishman is betrayed because the nation is no longer a nation state, isn't it? That's why nationalists should fight. A nation state would put the people before the state, right? The state would be the people. I mean, without even quoting fascist literature, right? I mean, this would be the situation. And this is a classic example of that problem. He's fighting this apparatchik, this kind of Kafkian state that will never care for him, because the state is fundamentally liberal and civic nationalist in structure. There is no ruler, there is no monarch, there is no absolutist, there is no Führer, there is no leader. There's nothing that represents this man's blood and soil. He has been lost to modernity. It's fucking heartbreaking. Actually, these are the people we should fight for more than anyone, right? This man's memory is worth fighting for, man. Makes me feel even more right-wing today listening to him. Thanks for that,
Matt. Just to pick you up.
The In Touch team, or kind of, or the police, or whatever it is, and the commissioner's office, or whatever it was, to say that was definitely going to be cancelled. Myself, John Wedger, I'm going to do that, and that's what we did. But since then, as I've heard you speaking earlier on before, when I first came on, and you were talking about Black Lives Matter and things like that, and Antifa and the extremists that have got in and put race relations back years, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely, decades.
Because I remember, you know, I mean, I don't think we ever had a problem with the Windrush, because when we was in Beecham, there was kids from all races, and there wasn't a race problem in this country. It had its problems, and you're going to get individuals that are going to be, but it's from all walks of life, and it's from everything basically. It's not just about race. But my argument with the Black Lives thing was, you know, what about children's lives? What about all lives?
Right. I interject here, but that was a coup. You see the civic coup there?
That was a total coup. I know it's not about. It's of course children's lives matters, but those only come out when you say English lives matter and Scottish lives matter and Irish lives matter, and therefore by extension, of course, English children matter. Yeah, there's not all lives matter, Black lives matter. Forget that shit. It's like nation. The nation is the people, right? The blood conserves the nation. Nation conserves the blood, right? It's as simple as that. The English children, this English boy who became an Englishman, was betrayed by an English nation state that detached itself from its nation. That's what's happening. We're looking at the victim because liberalism starts in the 60s, right? The equivocation laws start in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. By 1970, we've got equal employment laws, etc., etc. And this man is a victim of liberalism, right? He's a victim of the betrayal, right? That's what it is. It's just horrid. What has AMW got to offer? Not much, I assume. It's very sobering streamer, man.
Wait, what? What did you say?
I said it's a very sobering stream.
Yeah. My argument with the Black Lives thing was, you know, what about children's lives? What about all lives? Don't all lives matter? Oh, we're not one race.
No, mate. I can't take anything. I can't take anything from this man because of his story. But you know what, Sir Alan, your problem is because of that liberal ideology that says all lives matter and aren't we just one race, a human race. It's because of that exact thinking that you have been abandoned by your nation. If you had not had that thinking, your nation would not have abandoned you. Right? This is the problem.
Yes. Oh no! Yeah, but here we go. Here comes Cookville.
And yeah, that was my kind of take on that. Yeah.
Well, you know what their argument will be. It'll be, well, all lives matter don't matter until Black Lives Matter. They have presented a situation to the world where they've convinced people, both here and in America, that American Black people are lucky to get from A to B without being shot down by police. They've created this absolute fantasy in order
She's
to...
fucking hammered. Jesus fucking Christ, mate. She's just, mate, I mean, she's fucking drunk as a skunk. I mean, what is she's just rolling around in a chair and stuff. It's really quite awkward to watch.
Oh.
Infantilize Black people and create a I don't know, a distorted message for the electorate. That's how I see it. I don't know if you agree.
What distorted message?
What are you talking about? Black people are highly racinated and they're acting in their own self-interest as a racial group. They're not listening to your Sivnat message. They're not thinking about liberalism. They're going Black Power, man. What are you talking about? Huh? She just sounds really out of touch with most thinking. Every month, it seems like them and the whole Sivnat movement are becoming weaker and weaker, and that they don't really seem to be able to offer anybody anything that makes sense, right? As we shift the Overton window right increasingly, they look lost, don't they, mate? They look like they've got nothing to say. I mean, she says stupid things like, well, Black Lives Matter have not become liberal. They haven't seen it as individuals. They're never going to do that. They're genetically almost twice, 1.8 times more racinated than white people. They're acting as a racial collective. I mean, that's simple as that. And the only answer to that is white revaccination and white collectivization. White people acting in their white collective interests is the only way to deal with Black Lives Matter. You can't expect Black Lives Matter to become... Study after study shows that even the most libertarian blacks in the United States vote Democrat. They vote in their racial best interests, right?
Oh, it's fine. You know, all the Black people in the UK are going to vote for Britain, right? And we're gonna reverse these race relations.
Yeah, right. Like hell.
There's no going back, Anne-Marie. This is it. This is the new normal. This is your life now.
Yeah,
Get used to be calling a Karen every fucking day, yeah?
Huh?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with this extent that the message has been distorted.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with that. But I actually think that it's done by extremists to either cause trouble and make the problem worse than what it is. And the way around it, the way they've got round it, was to incite. And they did that, the incite with the Black Lives Matters. And I don't think it's all about... there's so many different things that are involved in this, and there's so many different ways you you can look at this. But I'm saying, if you look at this country and you look at the Windrush generation, now guys came over from the West Indies to work on the buses, London Transport Underground trains as guards and everything, and then their families came in and they worked into it because their fathers are in it. They got a job easy enough and blah, 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 blah. And I don't think we had I mean, you walk the streets and you never had the problems. I mean, I remember years and years ago when I was in the hostel after leaving Beach Home, I used to go to, we used to call them blues parties. They were black parties. They were called blues parties. A bit of music, a bit of a wacky, I think, gunja, and a bit of rice and peas, and everybody was happy and listening to a bit of music. And I could walk down the street and I could nod my head at a black man, and he'd nod his head back to me. And do you know, that was a sign of respect. And I never had no problems, and I can't understand it. And you know, some people say, "Are you racist?" And I turn around and say, "How can I be a racist when I was brought up with, you know, mixed race families all my life?"
So this is really awkward, isn't it?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's very awkward because on one hand, my heart goes out to the man, and I can't take away from his pain and his story, and I stand by that. But you know, the liberal kind of view, this liberal thing, it's nothing, right? You're talking about what 45,000 Windrush people came in the first thing, and we can trace about 500,000 people in the United Kingdom from that origins. I mean, those first generation, the nice little Leroy guy came around when you had an ethno state in the 1950s. It's a very different relationship to what you have now when you have run, devil man, run. And you got them, they're ganging up and slashing everyone, right? It's a very, very different story. Yeah? I mean, you know, one West Indian guy, okay, not a problem. No-go zones in Peckham, massive problem, right? White flight, massive problem. And liberalism doesn't solve this; it just makes it worse. So
the eternal Sivnat. Oh, we just got to go back, guys. We got to go back.
we just got to go back into when. I mean, you say go back, go back to when it was a fucking ethno state.
No, not that far, obviously, Ralph. That's racist. Don't do that. You've got to go back to the 1960s, you know, when it was all good, you know, rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? The swinging 60s. That's it. Let's just stay there forever.
I genuinely, to me, the word racist doesn't mean anything.
Correct. We agree on
There's
something.
no point defending yourself against it.
Yeah.
They're always, if they're going to call you it. If they're not going to call you
embrace
it,
it,
and if you've been doing what you're doing and dealing with people all the time, bring that to the reality. I mean, these idiots, and I'm not being callous or dismissive.
Can't you keep her eyes open?
She can't look at her. She's like hungover, man.
This Black Lives Matter world we're living in now is crazy. And the celebrities, of course, are
welcome to Clown World.
Welcome to Clown World. And you know, the one thing I take particular offense at is like this asymmetry where they say, oh, well, they call us far right, and then she turns around and calls us far right. So that's one problem. And first of all, you're not even right wing, love. You're not even right wing. You're not even a conservative, are you, Amory Waters? Right? You conserve fucking nothing, right? You're pro-Israel, pro-LGBT rights. You're pro everything that is not conservative. You conserve nothing, right? Her only trick is, no surprise, because of paymasters, she doesn't like Muslims. Right? I wonder why that is. Something to do with rooftops of buildings, no doubt.
Backpedaling now. You may have seen that. Backpedaling, trying to make out that they had nothing to do with it in the first place. And you get this. You know, this is rewriting history. It's people who suddenly find out they were wrong. Now they have to go back and rewrite their past so to not make themselves look wrong. I'm going to see this over and over again.
Do you know what annoys me more than anything is the media.
Oh, it's
look at her. Oh my God, she's pissed, isn't she? I'm sorry, but you're just pissed, love. You're clearly pissed. You're like moving your head around, your chair's everywhere. You can't keep your eyes open. But every freeze frame is a nightmare from any. Oh my God. Oh, it's quite embarrassing, isn't it? It's really not a strong performance, man. Have you got a copy of this video in case you ever take it down?
Oh, mate, I have 2 copies.
Good man. Hail man pass.
To me, that's a given. To me, the media are absolutely vile. I have no time for them whatsoever.
Oh, Nick will complain if you say that. Yeah. What do you mean, absolutely vile? What's wrong with vile media? Hey, sorry, Matt.
I can't hide it. My body language gives me away. I loathe them. Loathe them. But they are a part of our world. And we've got to stand up to them. Like,
look at her, man. She's just literally, she can barely keep her eyes open. She's slurring and she's just nodding herself around and stuff. It's really quite embarrassing. You can't, no political party leader, can you ever imagine Mark Locke? Can you imagine anyone ever acting this way? It's really horrid, isn't it? I wonder if they're just losing support at this point. I wonder what's happening with them for Britain. I need to ask my spies.
I would like to know that as well.
But a classic one, Anne-Marie, is that look at the establishment of the BBC now. There's a story of mine that's going to come out. This is the first time I've probably ever spoke about this. I've not spoken about this before. And first time I probably spoke to anybody. Now, I did an interview with the BBC when I was in Beach Home. Right. Now, there was some controversy to why my video wasn't shown on the BBC, because there was a program done called Girl is Dead. What about a girl in Beach Home that was found dead in a London embankment bedsit. It took an overdose, but the way she was, the video's on YouTube. Gail is Dead, and there's 6 parts to it, and there's a lot about Beach Home in it as well. My point, what I'm trying to make, is that the BBC for donkey's years covered up the paedophile ring within the BBC. The likes of Stuart Hall, Gary Glitter, Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris, and all household names.
You paint a picture of the cream of the crop, huh?
Well, yeah, and that's it exactly. And then you get the likes of Jimmy Savile go and visit Beach Home, children's home that I was in 1972. Now, this guy abused some 500. There was some 500.
Sorry to interrupt, Mad. Sorry to interrupt, mate. I just realized I had to be somewhere with Simone for 12. I didn't realize what the time was, mate. So I'm gonna have to burst. Yeah, shit. It's been over an hour now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, wondering why she's all dressed up and signaling at me and waving her hands, gesticulating wildly. I'm like, what are you doing? And she keeps tapping at the watch. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm gonna have to bail, dude. Is that all right?
Mate. Yeah, we could. I mean, we could do part 2, but I mean, I think we've really just
yeah.
There is a bit more that's a based veteran guy, but yeah.
The base guy who survived that is something altogether different. I think separating him from her, but this is priceless. So we have a Pista's on a stream. But I'm so sorry, Matt. I'm gonna have to dash. I've completely fucking lost track of time. But I shall be back later, and I shall ping you chaps. Apologize, chaps. I mean, Matt can carry on without me or not, but I'm gonna have to exit.
I mean, yeah, if you gotta go, mate. I mean, sorry for cutting it short, guys. I didn't realize it was that tight. I thought you were.
I didn't realize myself either until I've got the Reichschancellor jumping up and down and giving me that look like she's going to invade Poland in a minute. So, all right, man. Cheers, man. Hey, guys. Sorry about that. I have to exit. I'll see you guys later. Right. Cheers.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll wrap it up there then. We could probably do part 2 later, and it's only a bit more. But if anyone wants to actually watch the whole video, I've got it saved on Telegram. So just send us a message, and I'll forward it to you. But yeah, other than that, we'll catch you later. We might do part 2, so just look out for that. All right, guys. Catch you in a bit.